The voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Wow, I think a Thursday couldn't get better. Let me tell you about it later. 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Want you to join us. Hopefully Mr. Denison Tibbetts will also make his way in the studio. But we're going to have a chat with Noel Williams and also the lady that you see everywhere these days. What's her name? What is her name? Sounds like a Melanie McFeel. Well, I'm going to tell you about the upcoming West Bay Family Fair Day. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. And Royal Fidelity Bank and Trust, money at work.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow,
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
And good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if you enjoyed the morning showers, well, that's good. Hopefully it was on the outside as well. Well, welcome and thanks for joining us as we have a chance to talk about the coming, family affair. Miss Mel, good afternoon. And thank you for always championing good things. And then, of course, Noel Williams. One day playing football and striking, next way he's keeping goal.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for having us, Dwayne.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. It's good to see when the community comes together. When the citizens in the community extend an invitation to all and Sunday like to share, to celebrate, especially now when we've taken so much for granted, even life itself and the joy of life at times. So we've heard the promo, really came on as partnered and helped to do the promotion, but for those who don't know, for those who need a special personal invitation, I'll extend it to us. Ms. Mel, we usually say ladies first, but in your case, we'll let the gentleman speak.
Yes, we'll let the head of the show.
No.
Not this show.
Yeah,
this show.
I said, Mr. Art, this won't come with.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dwayne, for having us again. As you mentioned, the West Bay Family Fun Fair, it all came about just a couple of weeks ago. Just hearing the negative things that persons normally be saying about our beautiful district of West Bay. So we decided to have something positive in our beautiful district. Like we were speaking off air, a lot of people do call into your show and a lot of people do protest and everything, but this group that we put together to do this amazing fair is action people. We just felt like it's time to act and not talk about it. So we felt like having a district fair, starting something in our district, and hopefully this will be something that could be passed on to the other districts. It's a very positive thing that's going to be happening in West Bay, and it's going to be quite a bit of things that are actually going to be at this particular fair. So I think that we wanted to start somewhere, and we felt that July the 5th is the last holiday pretty much for the year. So we wanted to grab that one so that we can actually have an annual fair in our district.
All right. Well, with you present, Mel.
Well, not the last holiday, because there's another holiday that
In
we
November.
celebrate in November.
Yes, yeah,
but
pretty much.
Pretty much,
yeah.
yes.
So it's the last holiday before a big break, right? And the purpose, as Noel mentioned, was to put the positive spotlight on the District of West Bay and the people of West Bay. Even though this event is organized by community people within the District of West Bay, it's something open for the entire Cayman Islands. We have a plethora of events planned, including live music, a mini food festival, traditional arts and crafts.
Food?
It's finny.
Mini food?
Yeah, mini.
A finny mood?
Finny mood.
Yes.
Mini food festival, and I say mini because we only have a limited amount of vendors, because we didn't want vendors to be competing too much with each other. So we limited the amount of vendors for specific types of foods so that they can benefit from being there.
And the audience who attendees get a chance to maybe experience it more intimately.
Exactly. And of course, this food involves traditional Caymanian foods, treats for adults and children. And also, we're also going to have fish. A lot of people love fish fries and also jerk chicken. So we have a menu that is for everyone to enjoy. We also have the farmers market, which is going to happen early that morning. People can come out and buy their fresh farmers market crop, as well as a beautiful baby contest, which will be happening, I think, around 12 p.m. noon that day.
I saw the flyer. Babies 50 and under, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
50 and under with lots of hair, which means you can't compete.
This was all the but some babies are born with full head of hair. Some are born,
That's what I
not so much.
Yeah. I don't want to offend anybody's child. We also have athletic events, sporting events, including a cycle race, which is about 25 miles long. And that is
a morning race.
That's
like
a morning race.
And the thing is that we're going to have that race in the name of Mitchell Smith and Alfred E. Banks, two Olympians from West Bay. So we decided to have that race in their names because we felt like so much times that we tend to want to honor people when they're dead. But we feel like it's good to honor people while they're alive and they can actually see things and be a part of it, right? And then in the afternoon at 5, it'll be a run in the name of Denny Dilbert. And the walk is in Dalvin E. Banks. He's deceased now, but we decided to have that walk in his name also. So, and at 4 o'clock, we have football that will be starting until 8. So you have a youth tournament and an adult tournament. So that's going to be pretty interesting also with the football tournament. So, you couldn't have no athletics without having a little football and stuff in there, the sporting events, So also at this event, one thing that we cherish very much is the little mini job fair. We felt that was very important to put that in there because, I can tell you that even in West Bay alone, we do have those persons that have been seeking work for a very long time. So we felt like this was an opportunity that if a person needed someone to speak to know how to write a resume, or they have some resumes that they want to just hand in that we could get or take their names to see that they're not working, that we can actually help these persons. Because I think long gone the days where we just talk about things. I think that we need to take our district back. And like I said on another radio station, that strong communities make a strong country. And if we can target the area that we live in and try to get those persons back out working, because you see a lot of times that people always say, oh, the West Bayers are lazy, oh, the West Bayers like the handouts, but no, like we don't. I think most persons want an opportunity in the country that we live and we love very much. And I think these persons are just looking at an opportunity that they can actually go and fend for themselves and have an opportunity to provide for their families. So I think it's about time now that we take this responsibility. We look ourselves in the mirror and say, what can we do to help our community? So that's why we have tried to put all of these things together to try to bring our district together and to invite all the others from Grand Cayman to come and to see what West Bay has to offer. And then we are hoping that something like this can go into other districts, that at the end of the day, Cayman Islands wins from all of this here.
Well, we do have a call online, Melvin McField together with Noel Williams to talk about the West Bay Family Affair. Let's just go to the phones though. Good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, man? How are you today?
Gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
I am very well blessed, thankful, but poor, sober, and ugly. Noel, I hope you're putting on your slacks and tennis again, 'Cause, I mean, I know you're from, you say you were a baby, and you had a ball on your toes from then.
Okay.
So you can't go that day without having to do something.
Okay.
This is Jeffrey, by the way.
I can hear the voice. Hey Jeff, how are you?
Great. I really, really admire this venue that you're doing. I mean, it's something that, like you said, all the districts should do. So, congrats to you, and I hope it's a tremendous success and all the blessings, Noel.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and we're looking forward to you coming out on July 5th. I don't know if
I will make it because I actually have quarantine at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In spirit then.
Yes, my spirit is there.
Okay, good.
All right. Hey, thanks much, man.
Noel know that I'll be cheering for him, so
Thank you, Jeff.
Definitely. Thank you. Take care.
All right, but the caller does remind us of the importance of as you share in the community, coming together and working in that district, and the notion of employment. We can see what happens when, even if we look just as examples from history, particular industries close in an area for whatever reason, that area suffers a lot of unemployment. It becomes a blight on the area. The inhabitants leave; those that stay, they are not the most functional, and they lose value in themselves.
Yeah.
And they succumb to a lot. So maybe when we come back from the break, let's talk more. I'm interested in the run and the walk, because just like the race, we're named after people from whom we quickly can recognize have made a contribution, either on the Olympic stage, but even now within the communities.
Exactly.
All right. With the West Bay, Family Fair Day on the 6th of, July the
5th of July.
Yeah, the Monday holiday.
Monday, Constitution holiday.
That's the day. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
When you're tight on time and budget, but big on flavor, Subway's Meal of the Day hits the spot. Enjoy daily meals on classic sandwiches like tuna, Black Forest ham, meatball marinara, and more. Starting at $6.25 for 6-inch meals and $8.75 for footlongs. You can get Subway's Meal of the Day. Enjoy a different sandwich on a different day for the same price. Mix it up with cookies or chips or waffle fries for the same price. Subway. Eat fresh.
Join the National Museum on Saturday, 3rd of July from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for their 5th annual mango season at the museum. Enjoy local food, a mango peeling competition, traditional artisans and vendors with mango products, and more. It all happens at the National Museum on the waterfront in Georgetown.
Student registration for the 2021-2022 academic school year is open to the public from 8th of April to 30th of June 2021. Students must now be registered online at schools.edu.ky. Parents will have the ability to enter their students' information and securely upload all relevant documents. If you need assistance, please contact the Department of Education Services at 945-1199 or email edu.registration@gov.ky.
But I do have some questions.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. The West Bay Family Fair Day coming up on the July holiday, the 5th of July. And the studio, Noel Williams and Melanie Macfield shares with us. So it's a race early in the morning. There are, I think, an opportunity for us to celebrate either through other exercise, a run or a walk, and football. So you go in from very early in the morning through the whole day and into,
Yes, it's an all-day affair starting from 7 a.m. with the farmers market and the art and craft vendors. So that's the unofficial opening of the event. And then we have at 7 a.m. we also have the cycling. And to register for that, you can register on the day of at the entrance of the Edbush Field, or Edbush Stadium, I should say. And then 9 a.m. we have other activities happening, including at 10:30 the official opening. And we have at 11 a.m. the food vendors will start to sell their foods. 12 p.m. until 5 p.m. we have the Adventure Park, and we'll talk more about that. That involves the kids zone. 5 p.m. we have the 2-mile run and walk. And from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. we have the football exhibition with youth teams as well as senior teams. And then from 7 to 8 we have a mini concert. But throughout the day we're going to have live entertainment as well. With and Noel can speak more to who that's going to be.
All right,
Yeah, so the live concert throughout the day, we got Blake Hulson, which is a long time musician, right, that love his music. He's going to get a group of older guys that used to play from way back when, and they're gonna do the live music throughout the day. So I thought that was very cool that they would get a group of guys to put together that can entertain while persons are there just like socializing or walking around and seeing the arts and crafts and or getting their food. We'll have like 2 huge tents there with a lot of tables and chairs, so don't worry about the heat or the sun. We're gonna take care of you because we're gonna have lots of shades and stuff there that you can actually come and relax for the day and enjoy yourself while other activities are going on. So I think this is going to be a very good fair, Dwayne. I think the community can be proud of this, and like I said, when Melanie and then they came on board, they brought a lot of experience, and including things, because I guess if it was just me doing it, maybe it would just probably be 2 items on this, but they had
football.
This was let me interject here. If you knew how many other stuff we had that Noel wanted to accomplish, I had to bring him back down to earth. I'm like, it's too much.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. So there's another element to this as well that Noel will speak to, relating to our unsung heroes. That was originally going to be part of this fair, but we wanted to give that a special, its own special place. But just before we get into that, I just wanted to speak more to the sporting events, including the run and the walk. And for those that are interested in registering, they can get more information from caymanactive.com. They can also register on the day of between 3:30 and 4:30 p.m. Again at the entrance to the Edbush Stadium. The run and the walk starts. Well, the run will probably start a bit earlier than the actual walk, but the run starts 5 p.m. and then I would assume the walk probably
Right
starts
after.
around 5:05 or 5:10. You know, just to give the runners a chance to go off. And then we have the start and the finish is the same place. And on the day of the race, they will know where the race route is. Again, if you need more information, you can also call Noel on 916-2134. And it's open to all ages. So we don't have any specific age groups. For anyone who's interested or anyone that's an avid runner can compete in this event. We have awards for the top 3 male and female finishers. And that's just for the run, though. The walk is non-competitive. So, yeah. And we'll have registration forms on site as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a little bit more on the run. The run is in the name of Danny Dilbert. He was one of our best runners that Cayman has ever seen. Apparently, he still has some records that are still there to be broken, and it'll be kind of interesting that speaking with him, he says that he have a record for the 2 mile, which is 10:10, and that is something that we're encouraging people to come out and try to beat his time of 10:10. So anyone who beats his time would get a special prize and stuff along with the winning trophy that we have provided for them. And the walk is in the name, like I said, with Dalvin. He was a very good walker, runner, rider, but you could always see Dalvin actually with his speed walking on the West Bay Road or in any competition. So we decided to name this walk after him. And also with the cycle race, like I told you before, Mitchell and Alfred, they were Olympians, and they have been to the Olympics many times. So we just wanted to showcase them. We just wanted to honor them in that way, that we could put a race in their name, that something that they could remember for a very, very long time.
Just to add to what Noel said, I think what he meant to say was the first runner to beat that time. Because if we have several runners under that time, we're going to have several prizes to give out. So
the winner of the competition.
But there's still the time element, right? So there's the 3 top runners, and then there's also the person that, you know, the first person to beat the time. We may have 3 top finalists that have all beat the 10:10, but the prize will be to that first person to beat that time, if there's someone doing that.
So they would have had the new record for the Dan Dilbert run.
Yes. We'll have to change the name.
So and then as Melanie was actually speaking about too, the other things that we had to take off of this particular family fair, we had some unsung heroes that we were going to honor at this particular day, but we felt it was a little too much for this day alone. So we decided to have something in the next 3 months, maybe like in September, where we're going to bring all the West Bay back together and stuff again, but in a nicer setting, where people can be on the AC and bring their families and stuff, and like maybe all the churches come together, you know, for that one particular night where we have like a mini concert and we can actually showcase these unsung heroes at this particular event. So that is in the making now, where we're planning that also. So our hands is really full. These persons that I got on board, they're thinking that it's just a one-off thing, but they don't know what they got themselves into.
No, we're not thinking that at all. We know we know you all too well. We know this is going to be the idea behind this, and this event is the inaugural, so this is the first, and the hope is for this to be an annual event. But to add to what Noel was saying, and I completely forgot what I was going to say.
So while she's actually like thinking
trying
about
to
that,
remember.
there's a lot of persons that is involved in this, except Mel and myself. We have Colin Anglin, we have Ralph Williams, Kenneth Ebanks, Clydes, Mitchell Smith, Alfred Ebanks, Danny Dilbert. We have Zena Mae Bawden, Sophia Bryan, and Gina Ebanks. All these persons has been out to all the meetings, and their contribution was amazing. So I'm so thankful that when I made the call to these persons, they were so happy. They jumped on board. And now you have other people that's actually calling that wants to help and how they can help. And even if it's just to come there, like, and give out water in a day, like, I'm so happy to know how many persons is actually calling now that they want to help, because it is a community thing. This is not about inviting pastors or politicians or mothers. This is for everybody. This is not about West Bay, South, North, East. This is about West Bay come together as a whole and making a difference in our community. You know, so we just want to stress that is a group of persons that love our district, that wants to make a difference and wants that people's lives can get a lot better. So it takes something like this, a start. It's so funny that we were speaking just before we went online, even with your talk shows and stuff, where people call in and they complain and the likes, and then sometimes I'll listen to you where you'll ask them, okay, you've said that, but what's your solution? What can you offer? So when we listen to shows like that, you kind of reflect and you think, like, you look in the mirror and say, okay, what can I do? What can I do to make a difference in my community? So this is what this group of people is actually doing. We have looked in the mirror. We have to see what we as individuals that grew up in West Bay, that love West Bay, that wants to make a difference. And I know that we've been calling West Bay name a lot, but it's for the whole island. We're just having something in West Bay, but we want the rest of the island to come and see what we have to offer. It's not about just negative things that are in West Bay. We have a lot of positive people, a lot of positive things that they can actually come and experience and be happy with what we have to offer.
Well, so I remember what I was going to say.
I was going to ask you.
So to touch it more on Noel's point about the unsung heroes, the West Bay Family Fair is a platform that we're using for people to put forward any suggestions that they have for anyone they may have in mind as an unsung hero. We have the criteria that we're putting together, and that will be available on the day of the event for them to put their names forward and explain in a few paragraphs why they feel this person should be awarded an unsung hero award. So we'll speak more to that at the event.
All right. Well, I guess the first part of, addressing the problem, finding a solution is acknowledging that there is one.
Exactly.
So, we look in the mirror and we do something. When we come back, though, maybe just to recap, extended invitation. It is on the July holiday, the 5th, which is just around the corner.
Just around
and
the corner.
Right for everybody on the island, come out and enjoy West Bay. West Bay. All right, I'm going to pause and take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
When you're tight on time and budget, but big on flavor, Subway's Meal of the Day hits the spot. Enjoy daily meals on classic sandwiches like tuna, Black Forest ham, meatball marinara, and more. Starting at $6.25 for 6-inch meals and $8.75 for footlongs. You can get Subway's Meal of the Day. Enjoy a different sandwich on a different day for the same price. Mix it up with cookies or chips or waffle fries for the same price. Subway. Eat fresh.
Join the National Museum on Saturday, 3rd of July from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for their 5th annual mango season at the museum. Enjoy local food, a mango peeling competition, traditional artisans and vendors with mango products, and more. It all happens at the National Museum on the waterfront in Georgetown.
Student registration for the 2021-2022 academic school year is open to the public from 8th of April to 30th of June 2021. Students must now be registered online at schools.edu.ky. Parents will have the ability to enter their students' information and securely upload all relevant documents. If you need assistance, please contact the Department of Education Services at 945-1199 or email edu.registration@gov.ky.
Census 2021. Came and get ready. Census starting 10th of October 2021. Census information is secret. Census 2021. Census starting October 10th. 2021. Census 2021. Census. Census. Census 2021 Census. Everyone counts.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The Cayman Islands government and Celebrate Cayman invite you to the official renaming of sections of Harbor Drive on the Georgetown waterfront to Seafarers Way in honor of the outstanding contributions made by our island's seafarers.
The ceremony and reception will be held at the North Terminal, Georgetown on Friday, 25th June from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Attendees are encouraged to dress in business attire or their Seafarers Association polos.
Hope to see you there, 10 a.m. Friday, June 25th at the North Terminal in Georgetown.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, in Field and Wall Williams, the West Bay Family Fair Day on the July holiday, the 5th. Today's a Thursday, and usually Mondays follow Thursdays or Thursdays come before Mondays, just depending. But whatever day today is not today. It's the Monday holiday. Mel, how far away is that?
That is not next Monday, but the following Monday.
You sure?
Yeah.
Check the calendar.
I think so.
All right. All day.
Right for once.
I wouldn't give it that much time. All right. So it's a free event.
It's a free event. It's open to the public. The idea is obviously to showcase what West Bay has to offer, but inviting the entire Cayman Islands and anyone from the Brack or Little Cayman that might be coming over for the day. And the event is, as you said earlier, 5th of July, which is Constitution Monday public holiday. And it starts from 7 a.m. with the farmers market, and it goes throughout the day until around 8 p.m., 9 p.m., with ending with a mini music concert.
All right. And
lots of stuff in between.
Lots of good food, good fun, good
Good
activities.
food, good fun, something for the kids, of course. We have basketball, we have tug of war, we have human foosball, we have face painting, and we're going to have some goodies. We'll have an ice cream truck out there serving some snacks, all that lovely junk food that kids love.
Yeah, but it'll be hot too, so they
yes,
need
exactly.
that sort of refreshing.
They will.
Yeah, energizing.
And of course, sporting events as well. We have something for the cycling enthusiasts, the running and walking enthusiasts, and anyone that wants to keep fit.
Yeah. So even to add to what Mel actually said too, even with the free admission with the McGee Adventure Park, that is totally free to kids also. So the kids wouldn't have to pay for no rides. And one additional thing, even for the kids, and I feel like this is going to be going to more adults more than anything else. We have the mechanical bull that would be there.
Yes.
And
you didn't get to enjoy agriculture show this year, but we're bringing the bull.
Yeah. So the bull is going to end up in
there.
Yes.
The bull is going to be in West Bay, the mechanical bull, and just take your time with him.
Is Mel going to ride?
Well,
no, I'm not.
The chops,
I will be there to cheer you on.
Yeah.
Will not be riding any bulls.
Yeah. So Dwayne, I know that. Thank you for having us. Thank you to Radio Cayman. Has always been a very big supporter of Evan Williams Productions. They have been my number one partner, and we can't thank Radio Cayman enough, because anything to do with the community, Radio Cayman is right there, and it's a number one. They're the number one for a reason, because they love the Cayman Islands, and they love. Yeah. So I just want to say a special thank you to Radio Cayman, and to encourage everyone throughout the whole island to come down to West Bay and enjoy what we have to offer. This is not just for West Bayers. This is for the whole island. It's just that some West Bayers is actually putting this event on to accommodate everybody on the island, and hopefully we'll get a chance to go to another district that is putting on something like this that we can actually support too. So we're just starting a movement that we would like to see go through this whole island. And like I said, it's a start, and we want to make our district better than what it is. We want to make the difference. We want to raise our hands and stuff and saying, listen, we're here to help in any positive way that our community can be stronger, that we can get people back out working, that people can actually provide for their own families. That's what we want. I don't think the West Bayers want handouts. We want a hand up, right? We want to make sure that we are provided with the tools that can help our young people, that we can actually get the jobs, they can go and work, and they can provide for their own families and stuff. And I think that's what makes a strong community, which is going to transfer into making a strong country.
Yeah, and this is it. You recognize and you come together, not just celebrating the good and the greatness in the society, but doing something positive, constructive, so that it engenders, a sense of collective ownership.
Yes.
And here we have the family comes out, enjoys a wonderful evening of food and fun and fellowship. The physical activity itself lends itself to health of mind, because the body is engaged.
Yes.
People like you and Mel helping to not just support, promote, but organize.
And speaking of engage, we will be having interactive events that day as well for the actual audience to interact. Noel can speak more to that, but this event is something that is long overdue, something that I'm sure Noel has had on his mind for some time now, and they said nothing before it's time. So I think now is the time. It's as he said earlier, it's a movement that we want to be as contagious as possible, reaching throughout the entire islands, and really get something in it. I mean, I'll put on my Pirates Week hat for now, but the district days are usually the only time of the year that you see each district being highlighted, and we need to have, quote unquote, a district day more than once for the year. And I think this is a great way to start that for the District of West Bay.
Excellent.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
I tell you, she's so interactive.
Yeah,
part
the
for
interactive,
audience.
The dance, soca dance.
Yeah,
session.
we like I said, when we've been getting a lot of calls from different organizations, different charities, how they can help. We got a call a couple of days ago with a dance group that has been going. It's like a wellness, like they're there to provide like kind of entertainment and to make people feel better, and whether it be like an exercising level or just your mind, they will be there. We're going to talk more about it when we finalize a lot more, but it's going to be something, it's going to be more like a dance where they can include the audience, and you will see a bunch of young people that has come together over the last couple of years to really work on their dance and to really include like the community and doing something positive with their lives. So we're going to showcase them at this fair too. That means they'll feel good about themselves, and the crowd and the people there would be able to appreciate what they have to offer.
This is it. I mean, and as you shared, maybe other districts equally can borrow, we can partner, and one day it becomes something that is across the entire country.
And we're happy to assist any district out there. I know I'm probably putting myself out there more than I can manage, but
so we see her everywhere. She wears many hats and put great effort into all.
But this is what I'm passionate about as well, and what I love to do. So it's something I would definitely make time for. But it's starting with what we're doing on the 5th of July, Monday, public holiday, and it starts at 7 a.m. a big thank you again to Radio Cayman for always supporting, community events and Williams Productions and all of those involved in the West Bay Family Fair Committee and all of the people that are going to come out and I know support this event and make it the success that it deserves to be.
So for those runners, riders, and cyclists, there's an opportunity.
And
for the
football players.
Enthusiasts.
Yes.
I'm
we have some legends in wrestling, I know you're one of them, Dwayne.
Some of us are legends, I won't mind. But anyway, it is a good afternoon.
We're looking forward to a fun-filled day, and the children, of course, are going to have a blast.
Yeah. Something for them to do. School will soon be out, in a sense. So this is a good way to kind of...
Exactly. Good way to kick off the summer.
Indeed. But thank you. I mean, the names you mentioned as part of the organizers are names that we see stalwarts who are helpful in many ways, from their churches to the schools, but not just in their own communities, but across the country. And this is where we can do it, man.
Sure.
Yes.
You got to be commended, man.
Thank you so much, Dwayne.
All right, thanks you, and you guys enjoy yourselves.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure. And to our listeners, hopefully Mr. Dennis and Tibbetts, will brave the downpour and get his hair wet and join us in the studio when we come back. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman,
The voice,
the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solland. The Needs Assessment Unit's Cayman Brac office is currently closed due to a downed power line. In the interim, clients are asked to please contact the NAU's Grand Cayman office at 946-0024 or email nauinfo@gov.ky. In international news, at least one person has died and 51 others are unaccounted for after the collapse overnight of a 12-story residential building north of Miami, Florida, officials say. Rescuers are combing the rubble in the search for survivors and were seen pulling a boy out alive. It is unclear how many people were in the building at the time. A U.S. military linguist has been jailed for 23 years for passing classified information to a foreign national linked to the Lebanese Islamist militant group Hezbollah. Mariam Thompson admitted sharing the names of U.S. informants in Iraq to a man she was romantically linked with. She said she had been, quote, desperate for someone to love me in my old age and did not set out to harm anyone. U.S. pop star Britney Spears has launched a blistering attack on the abusive conservatorship that has controlled her life for 13 years. She said she was traumatized and cried every day, telling a judge in Los Angeles. Spears also said she had been denied the right to have more children and was put on the psychiatric drug lithium against her wishes. Her father was granted control over her affairs by court order in 2008. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solans. For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
For the record.
For information that matters to you, the people. Hear from the government, the opposition, independents, and other experts on issues and solutions that affect you.
For the record.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, tune into 89.9 and 93.9 FM from 7:30 to 9 a.m. for Cayman's new Straight Talk morning show. For the record.
I invite you to join me for the record. You are invited to be a part of this interesting and informative show. Embrace the opportunity to dialogue with your legislators, policymakers, and those charged with policy implementation.
For the record.
Brought to you by
Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors.
Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. And in the studio, Mr. Denison Tibbetts, gives us some of his company as much as his schedule allows. He'll sit with us again from his counsel, his expertise, and his experience, and even as he wears the hat as president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association. Mr. D, good afternoon, man. Thank you very much for sitting with us and braving the downpour and find your way on the inside. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you too. I was very lucky. I got here it was raining at the Seafarers and I got a little damp there, but here it hadn't started to rain yet, so I got into the studio before.
Can't say it was dry as a chip, but it was raining earlier when I first came in. It was a nice early morning shower. But I guess that's the blessings from on high, so it's all good.
Well, let's hope tomorrow morning when we witness the historic renaming of this Harbour Drive that it doesn't rain until afterwards.
Yeah, that would be our prayer indeed. But tomorrow, that in itself is another good occasion in the country's continued development, sort of.
It definitely is, and we at the Seafarers Association, myself and all the members, the council and all that, we are so grateful that government has seen fit to name 2020 the year of the seafarer, and all the perks that go with it, and this is one of them that was promised from the last administration, to rename certain parts of Harbour Drive Seafarers Way. So the historic event will start tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the North Terminal, and I'm asking all the seafarers to please be there and wear your polo shirts.
Just to be present, but also not just for the renaming itself, but to be recorded in history. So this part of Harbour Drive will be determined how the route. I know Mr. Hart was of the view and championing that it should go further, but how far does it go?
I'm not quite sure, but it takes in 5 different roads that branch off of there. So I'm hoping that it'll go down to Dixie.
Yeah, that's but again, tomorrow, like many things, small steps in order to have a...
Yeah, well, the previous premier promised us that at the National Heroes Day in January. And I must also thank the government for taking on building a seafaring park for us where the old tower building used to be. So this new naming will pass that, going further north.
Yeah, when we see all that is happening globally and we recognizing the challenges, economic, political, socially, here's an opportunity for a country to be strengthened by, recognizing what it has, what it's taken to get us where we are, and maybe appreciate the sacrifice to take us where we would like to be.
Yeah, well, I in my remarks at the official groundbreaking for the Seafarers Park, I made the comment that it's long coming, but really, I in the last 3 years, me and the council have been working along with government to try and see what we could accomplish. Because definitely, it's no joke that the seafaring heritage of this country has contributed so much to the global knowing of Cayman, financially, that is. As a matter of fact, I think in 1959, if my memory serves me right, something like the allotments that were coming in, government couldn't pay the civil service, so they had to use that to do it. So we've been contributing a long time. So it's good that we're being acknowledged and appreciated, and it goes a long way because so many people come to this country and don't realize where we're coming from. So the heritage that has been built by the seafarers is now being exploited to the extent that we are glad that it is being exploited, because the people are now aware of the culture and where we're coming from. Not only turtlers, but merchants.
Yeah, that's it. And that seafaring heritage, I mean, we've watched the sort of the first bank arrive as a result.
Yeah, in 1953 that was.
Yeah. And that sort of money coming into a country. And many places we talk about foreign exchange, but this is the introduction of a significant currency that has buoyed many. But to this day, it still continues, and maybe that respect needs to be not just celebrated, but for us to be reminded of it.
I think more so be reminded. It's not so much us as Caymanians, but people who come in, because I understand there's 170 something different nationalities here now.
That number keeps changing every day, man. I said 100 and how much and a half. There's one on the way. Yeah.
Well, it's good that government has recognized the seafaring contributions over the years, and the people who come here. I mean, there's so many people come here because of the tranquil and beautiful life that we enjoy here. So it's a privilege for them to come, but they have to know where we're coming from.
And as I listen to what you share, I want us as well.
Us too.
Yeah, and us being like people who can go back generations, but us who intend to make this home as well, because we have to come together. We have to respect.
Yeah, it's my family. Well, my personal children, they're multinational. One was born in Jamaica, and I only have two, thank God. And the other one was born in the United States. But they're so deeply rooted in the heritage and the way of life here that, they're Caymanians.
Yeah. But maybe you could speak to us about the seafarers, because we probably, even at the very least, would have recognized that to this day, seafarers have and still continue to contribute scholarships, healthcare, community assistance.
Yeah, definitely. Over the years, we have the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association has been very active in the health services. We have donated so many different instruments for the Health Services Association, and also we have granted scholarships for nurses and doctors to go overseas and study. Also, we have donated money for Caymanian. I think one Caymanian has already graduated. He went and studied about the catboat and all that.
Yeah.
Miller from Northside, and he works at the Macy.
Yeah, Maritime Authority.
Maritime Authority. So it's all good, We contribute as much, and of course, the Lions Club, who, we contribute every year to their cancer awareness for prostate and colon cancer. So we do a lot.
And that's, I think many of us don't appreciate, even though there are not that many active seafarers at sea. We still got a handful from the back and the like, but still make a contribution.
Definitely, because we're a non-profit organization, so whatever monies that we collect from our raffles and whatnot, it goes back into the community, And we rent the hall. As a matter of fact, this time of the year it's in high demand. But everybody wants it for free, and we can't really afford that because we have to pay light and water. But getting back to the seafaring as it goes to this day, we still have two Cayman Brackers active. There's Captain Anderson Radley Scott, who is a mooring master for a company out of Houston, and then there's a young man shipping out of New York, surnamed Tatum Whitney, I think is or no, not Whitney. Whitney is a fireman. I don't recall his first name, but he's a Tatum from Cayman Brack, and we know definitely that those two people still carry on the heritage that we all enjoy.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily understand how that calling still, transcends generations, but we see the contributions now, and our seafarers, the heritage, from the turtlers to those who became, the ship's captains.
Definitely. Well, from I think 1940 was when the last. Prior to 1940, they were all turtle rangers, and they plied their wares right in Hawkstad Bay, as being how where we're going to meet tomorrow. But in 1940, all that stopped, and by 1940 something, the catboat and the turtlers sort of became obsolete, because that was the time when the merchant seamen started shipping out with other companies out of New York, Liberia, different companies, Honduras, Panama. So we were actually becoming merchant seamen instead of turtlers. And this was where the allotment era started. And I'm happy to learn that the Miss Nasario Sukushal, that she'll be reciting a poem written by her mother. It's called The Allotment Day tomorrow. So I'm anxious to hear that. I haven't heard it yet. So, and it's good that people remember, Caymanian people remember where we're coming from, but we have to make the body, the global community that we now enjoy, we have to make them know where we're coming from. So it's not something that they just come and find and it's all hunky-dunky,
No, that is it. All right, Mr. Dennison, we're going to quickly pause for a sec, take a commercial break, come back, we'll continue sharing. We can talk about seafarers, we can talk about other things. You're a man of great interest and insight.
I have a few unfortunate things to talk about. But
we'll get to that right after the break then.
Yes, thank you.
Please join us after.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Esterly Clarence Tibbetts, BEM, 1910 to 1999. Esterly Clarence Tibbetts was born in Kimmerbrak. After working overseas for a number of years, he returned to Grand Cayman, where he married Emma Melba Borden in 1940. In 1949, he joined the civil service as Superintendent of Works at Public Works Department, where he had numerous responsibilities for both Grand Cayman and Kimmerbrak. He played a vital role in the early development of these islands, and many of the roads, buildings, lighthouses, and other works remain in use today, a testament to his hard work. He was awarded the British Empire Medal in 1965 for his long and dedicated service to the people of the Cayman Islands. He retired from the civil service in the mid-1980s. He was also an active member of the community, serving as a charter member of the Rotary Club and as an elder of Emsley Memorial Church.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Kimmerbrak and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Do you need legal assistance or advice? The Director of Legal Aid and Legal Aid Officer will be visiting Kimmerbrak on the 24th and 25th of June 2021 at the District Administration Conference Room, number 19, Colonel Street, Stake Bay. On Thursday, June 24th from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and again on Friday, June 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. For appointments, email legalaid@judicial.ky or call our helpline 244-3889. Walk-ins are welcome.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as Mr. Denison Tibbetts sits with us, President of the Cayman Seafarers Association, certainly we'll take your calls and discuss anything. Mr. Denison mightn't sit in the kitchen cabinet, but he'll be here to offer his counsel. Right, Mr. Denison? But it's always a pleasure, man.
I think the kitchen cabinets were changed.
No.
New ones put in.
You think so? I don't know. Maybe I'll be installed. We'll see.
Anyway, as I was saying prior to going on break, I have some disturbing news in a sense that in recent times we've lost 3 seafarers, and their funerals are this weekend, and I would like to ask my seafaring members to please make an effort to come to the funerals. The first one is on Saturday at 10 o'clock at the Seafarers Hall, Mr. Austin Piercy. And that same day at 3 o'clock, Bronson Ebanks, he's at the Church of Christ in Bottom. I think that's what it's called, Bottom Road.
Yeah, Bottom Road, yeah, that's it.
And then on Sunday at Wesleyan Holiness, there'll be Mr. Reese Powers' funeral. So it's a sad time for his families, for the families of those. But we at the Seafarers kind of get used to it, because over the last 2 or 3 years, we've lost like 80 something. I think it's 80. This makes 85 now. Seafarers, and well, a few of them were wives, but the wives are members once the husbands are members, So we do what we can, give tributes and help the families. And there's also a donation from the Seafarers for each member who dies. We donate $2,000 towards the burial. So we help in every way we can.
That is, not just commendable but laudable, but I think it's something that the community needs to consider when we are volunteering, supporting, or otherwise. That the contributions of seafarers weren't just when they went to sea and did a job and sent back home money. That sparked the economy and provided for the economic prosperity that we have. But you talked earlier about the support to education and to healthcare. But you see now the very meaningful, tangible assistance that families probably don't realize that they need, or even are considering at times like this.
Yeah, our motto is to help seamen and their families, and that's what we strive to do in whatever way we can. And assisting with the burial is part of what we think is the right thing to do. Yeah. It started out at $500 per person, but within a very short time it has gone to $2,000. So
that's the thing. We don't realize the various stages of life and expenses that come.
Well, death is a part of life, even though
Yep.
There's a old saying that everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. So
we live once and die twice, huh?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
So,
but we are very fortunate that we have a fairly vibrant membership, even though they're quite old now. That's why we've opened it up to children of seafarers, because sooner or later, hopefully later, they won't be any seafarers left to carry on the legacy. And the children will have to take over.
Well, it is about, as you shared, the legacy, and not just the individuals who are stalwarts in their own right, but remembering the contributions, the service of self, the unending sacrifice.
And that's why over the years too we've I don't know if you have a copy of the book that Consuelo Ebanks edited. She made it all happen. The Southwell years, very educational, and I've used it and given it to quite a few of the schools. And there's so much knowledge in that in that book about seafaring. It even depicted, as a matter of fact, I was asked 2-3 years ago something at this red light thing that they had at the
Red Sky at Night, yeah.
Red Sky at Night. I was asked to
the red light must be this guy.
to read the story of the blowing up of that tanker. And of course it even there's so many things that can happen, and every time I give a tribute I realize all the years that I spent at sea, how difficult or not so much difficult, but how things could have happened that God saw fit not to happen, you know. And we didn't think about it then really, but so many things could have happened. My uncle, my dad's youngest sister, her husband was blown up on the University of Finance in 1973, I think it was, and he lost his life. But those are the prices the price that people pay over the years, you know. Thankfully, they're few and far apart, but they do happen, you know.
Yeah, that's why we don't understand why some feel the way they feel, why they champion, and you just shared. Yes, it's a job that was laden with much peril, and you put your life at risk, not just in the engine room, but being on the ship.
On the deck, yeah. I remember going up Cape Hatteras, and the captain, well, me and my roommate, my watchmate we were the two youngest people on the ship, and he chose Hatteras for us to go and soju the smokestack. And I mean, we got a beating, but we had to do it. But you know, when I tell people that story, they say, "What kind of captain?" I said, "Well, he was a Norwegian." That might explain it, because they drink a lot, so he might have been in you know.
Yeah, your initiation. But you're going up across, wow.
Cape Hatteras. It's always a hurricane there.
Yeah.
But we made it. We all made it, and we're so grateful for the blessings that Almighty God has given all of us.
Amen. With that, Mr. Dennis, I mean, those of us who, you know, heard the stories, you know, the seafarers would share, and some of it, more and more that I hear, I don't think all of it necessarily is embellished. If anything, I think it's downplayed. You know, we would think probably growing up, they would spin the yarn and they've sort of embellished the stories and they exaggerated.
Well, let me tell you, I forgot to mention also that the 23rd to the 29th, I think it is, is the International Seafarers Week. And right now, I left the hall and people were playing dominoes and cards and whatnot, and we provide a slight lunch for them. And that happened yesterday, it happens today, and it'll happen tomorrow after the festivities down at the North Terminal, and then again Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday next week. So it's something that I think it was the United Nations who declared it some 11 years ago, but we try to keep up with all of the happenings. And ironically, tomorrow is the International Day, Seafaring Day of the year, which was started by the United Nations. And that is the day that has been chosen by government for the renaming process. So it all sets in place everything, you know.
It speaks to, I think, a country's not just recognition but respect for it. It now just needs for our people to appreciate it, and like we do other things, understand why it's, you know, to be shared in a knowledgeable way, but through a sense of loving kindness.
You know, there's a motto. The Cayman motto is "He hath founded it upon the seas." That didn't just happen. It happened because of our respect for the sea. And all that the men, like my father and forefathers did, and myself, You know, we contributed such great. The turtlers. I mean, it's unbelievable the things that they went through.
But as we speak to Mr. Denison Tibbetts, I was just glad that you shared this. I was saying the stories that they would share. More and more, I'm beginning to believe that if anything, they were downplaying the stories and not sort of exaggerating. And as the seafarers and extended families are at the Seafarers Hall today, tomorrow after the festivities with the renaming, but next week as well, we can drop in, play a game of dominoes. We can hear some of those stories.
Anytime you want. And as a matter of fact, I extended that invitation from yesterday. Yeah. But we are cognizant of the fact that everybody's busy. And
before last, I came in and had a couple of game of dominoes, and I think they made me win a game.
They made you win.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. I was matching the cards, and that was
just before I came here. I was playing with one of my partner was one of the ex presidents, and we gave the other two guys 6 love. So that was a good question for them.
Yeah, to you probably.
Well, he said that all he had to do was pass the other guy so I could win. So
that would work, huh?
Yeah. That was his theory. But we enjoy it. We enjoy each other's company. Yeah. And sometimes if you listen when the older seafarers are talking about things that happen at sea, you wonder if they're not exaggerating. But I'm here to tell you that some of them actually happen, like the one I just told you about Sujin and the smokestack at Cape Hatteras.
Yeah,
they do happen,
Yeah, I mean, we all probably heard our fathers and uncles talk about being so hot in the Gulf that they could fry an egg, and apparently it's true, huh?
Well, 140 degrees, you can do anything.
And this is it, we don't appreciate what that life was like. And I think that they
fortunately for the seamen at the time, it was an adventure. It's when you look back at it, you say, boy, was I stupid to do things like that? But it was an adventure and it was enjoyable.
Right. So after this break, let me, since you put that on the table, let me ask. I mean, really, did the seafarers see it as that adventure, that age of exploration? They learned a lot. They saw, the world. Sometimes,
But it also taught us to be frugal. Because your salary was X amount, and you had to manage that. That's that's where the allotment came in. And I recall, I don't remember if it was last year, a seafarer died. Well, no, he had died before, but his wife died, and the siblings were all there, and the stories that they told of that allotment doing for them once a month, because the mother had learned to be frugal too. I mean, it was like 7 of them, and it fed everybody. Yeah, so
they learn a lot. Maybe you can help us to appreciate that. You want to stay around more, Mr. Denison? Chat some more, you got it?
Well, we can
All
talk
right,
some more.
Let's do that. Join us after the break, 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. You hear the man, extended invitation. Susan's right there to answer the phone. If not, we're going to go and grab us some chocolate. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
During June, CUC and CUC's subcontractors, UMC, will be erecting poles and stringing power lines between 8 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. on Fridays and Mondays, and 6:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays on Rex Crichton Boulevard in Prospect. Motorists are encouraged to use Shamrock Road when possible. For more information, contact 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended 30th of April 2021, the various life cycle funds have provided returns between 10.5% and 43.2%. And our all-in expense ratio for year ended 30th of June 2020 is currently the lowest it's ever been, 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Are you a first-generation college student looking to pursue an associate or bachelor's degree this fall 2021 semester? The Community Engagement Program at UCCI provides financial aid to Caymanian and resident students who are committed to using education as a means to improve the Cayman Islands. Eligible students can receive up to $2,500 in funding per year. The application period is now open. Submit your online application by July 16th at ucci.edu.ky/CEP.
The West Bay Family Fair has something for everyone. Monday, July 5th, enjoy wholesome family fun with free admission to the inaugural West Bay Family Fair at the Ed Bush Stadium and West Bay Heritage Park. Bring your family and friends and learn how to make silver touch rope, blow a concord, or spin a gig. Local arts and crafts will be on sale, and vendors will offer up the best in traditional foods and treats for the kids. Kids of all ages will have their faces painted and participate in several sporting events with McGee's Adventure Park. But wait, there's more. Don't miss the early morning cycle race, the farmers market, live entertainment, awesome raffle prizes, and find out who will win the beautiful baby contest. Stay for the 2-mile fun run and walk and football tournament showcasing some of West Bay's legends. For more information, email noelw@candw.ky or call 916-2134. West Bay Family Fair, Monday, July 5th, at Bush Stadium, starting at 7 a.m. This advert is brought to you by Williams Productions and Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you for joining us in the studio. Mr. Denison Tibbetts joins us as the president of the Cayman Seafarers Association, but also, as a veteran seafarer as you were, Mr. Denison, your time at sea. You were sharing earlier that it was like, for many, an adventure, an age of exploration and education, but we probably didn't see the dangers as maybe the
well, the dangers were always there, but no one never thought about that when one was being recruited.
Yeah,
we just thought of it as a means of making a living, and also I went to sea pretty young, so like having a good time. Plus, we were able to visit all these countries throughout the world that we would never have been able to do if we had to pay to get there.
If you would, countries and or ports that you were perhaps enjoyed more, found it to be the best choices.
Well, a lot of people talk about Japan and Brazil, and my favorite port was Venezuela. I did Spanish at high school, and I became pretty proficient, and I always had a good time when I was I wasn't married yet, so I was able to partake, of all the goodies. But I've been to so many ports. I mean, I remember going to a little town in Louisiana called Burnside, and I knew nothing about Mardi Gras and all that, but apparently it was during Mardi Gras time. And I had not experienced the kind of segregation that those people have.
Yeah.
And it's the crew the members of the crew on the ship that I was on at the time. Most of them were Caymanians, but they were all, some were white, some were black, some were in between, and we were all one happy family. And we hired this taxi that I'll never forget that. We hired this taxi with about 7 of us, and we said to the driver, "Please take us to a nice bar so we can sit and have a beer." The guy drops us at this bar called the Friendly Bar. And when we went in there, they wouldn't serve us because 2 of the guys were dark. And I couldn't understand it. They wanted to fight us and all that. And I think that if we had found that taxi driver after that, somebody would have got in trouble with him, because you are a native, a taxi driver, and you're taking all these people of different different cultures.
What year was that, sir? If you remember.
That was 1969.
Okay. So the reason why, and you shared this with us before, you talk about segregation, and we've heard from seafarers when they would come in, they would see these things, and some looked at it and say, "You know what, I just have to abide by it." Some would leave, some were unsure.
Well, there's a rumor, and I call it a rumor because I never experienced it. I'm a born Cayman Bracker, but and people talk about segregation there, that the old people used to sweep out the footprint of a dark person, and they wouldn't give them a glass of water out of a glass; they'd give out of a tin, a condensed can or something. I never experienced that, so that's why I say, I think it's just a fallacy. I don't know. But even in Cayman Brac, I mean, my mother's best friend and nearest neighbor was a dark lady, and that lady, she was like my second mother, because if I did something wrong, she beat me, and if I went to tell my mother about it, my mother would beat me again. So I never experienced that, right. So that's why I don't think that it.
But yet, when you go to sea and you come into one of the ports in the States, you found the fountains being labeled, the businesses being divided because of color.
It's more I think more so was like in the southern parts, like in Mobile, Alabama. Oh boy, they even had a club, the Ebony Club, strictly for dark people, and then they had the Royal Cafe, was strictly for white people, and we didn't know no difference. And I remember going into the Royal Cafe myself, and the third engineer, who was like a schoolmate when we were growing up, and my uncle. So both of us were clear, and he was dark, and they wouldn't serve us.
I like how you say clear. but that's the reality, right?
I don't know if I consider myself a white man, because I'm not. I have so much mixtures in me that that's why I say clear.
Yeah, but
when I was growing up when I went to Jamaica to live, I was described once by a civics teacher as a mulatto.
Mulatto.
So I guess I must be a mulatto.
Yeah, but you think about it, just over 50 years ago, and that is still the experience, for many today.
Yeah, I always give the joke of when I was president of Lions Club, myself and Delno Hislop and Kirkland Nixon went to a function in Linstead, Jamaica, and we had to drive through the Linstead market. So me and Delno were in the front seat, and Kirk is in the back seat, and the market woman said, "What's the red hag them now?" And Kirk is in the back of it. "I know they're not talking about me." So but you just pass it off.
Yeah. Someone told me when you guys were driving them, they thought it was Desmond Tutu in the back. Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah, it's there's so many things that I could talk about in my 73 years on this earth. Is unbelievable. But my daughters think that I should write a book one day. So I don't know. But I'm grateful.
Penance for the penance. Yeah, well, that it's something that we recognize. You can never ring the bell, but maybe we can find a way to improve the lot of others through our continued service. And maybe the stories that you share would...
Well, a lot of... At the National Heroes Day celebration, I think it was the one at Peter Castle, part of my remarks were to explain why we have 8 bells. And quite a few people called and, boy, I didn't know that, Yeah.
But look at when you ring the bells. Would you tell our listeners about the bells, why 8, and the ringing of them?
There's a bell that is rung every half hour, and each watch is 4 hours, so it's 4 times, 2 half hours make one. So that's the reason for 8 bells.
And people will think, well, you're only on shift and watch for,
4 on, 8 off.
But that's intense, sort of.
Of course. Yeah. And it's a 24-hour thing, so it's, if you had a 48 watch, it wasn't so bad. But you have the graveyard watch, which is 12 to 4 in the night and 12 to 4 in the day. It's testing, and it's, you don't know when is the right time to sleep, But
that's it. You come on at 12 p.m. When you go back and you come back on at midnight to 4 a.m. It's that intervening period can impact you.
Yeah, it's something that you can get used to. I mean, if you're there at all on a watch, and the same thing happens internationally, so it's not unique to any one person or one nationality,
But it's understanding it and then being able to adapt. All right, we're going to pause again for the break, and when you return, Mr. Nesson, just give us a shout and see what we say. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Join us after the break.
Things just got a bit hotter on the island. Come in today and order the new spicy Korean subs at Subway. They're sweet, spicy, and especially satisfying. Stop in and try the pulled pork with spicy Korean sauce, or the chicken with spicy Korean sauce. And you can message WhatsApp at 929-4658. Order online or use Let's Eat or the Bento app. The spicy Korean subs at Subway in 2 flavors, extra saucy and extra spicy. Subway, eat fresh.
The HSA Specialist Clinic has relocated to a new, modern, state-of-the-art facility at Smith Road Center to offer you a better patient experience. Receive care from top specialists in chiropractic, complementary and alternative medicine, neurology, ENT, urology, pain management, and more. Our orthopedic and telemedicine clinics remain at the Cayman Islands Hospital campus. Please remember to bring your own face mask when visiting any HSA location. Visit our website, hsa.ky, to learn more. At the HSA, you matter to us.
Cybercrime happens online or through the technology we use every day. Anyone can be a victim of cybercrime, whether you are a young person being bullied or harassed online, or an older person or business who's been scammed out of money or personal data. Cybercrime is an issue that touches all of us. The Cayman Islands government has therefore created an online resource to help keep you cyber safe in an ever-changing world.
In online situations, it is better to be cyber safe than sorry. Learn now to protect yourself against cybercrime. Visit gov.ky/cybersafe.
The 7 a.m. news Monday through Friday is proudly sponsored by CG Britke Insurance, Health, Pensions, Life, where people come first.
Do you know the signs that your child may be vaping? Increased thirst, desire for flavor, nosebleeds, acne, cutting back on caffeine, pneumonia, finding unfamiliar USB drives, battery chargers, or spare parts. It's important to talk to your teen about this new risky trend. For families with a history of addiction, your child may be at an even higher risk of dependence from vaping products. As the popularity of vaping continues to rise, so does your child's risk. Watch for signs. This message was brought to you by the National Drug Council and Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And thanks to Mr. Denison Tibbetts for being with us as the president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association. And tomorrow, you were sharing with us at the outset, we've heard the public invitation for the renaming of Harbour Drive. It's a wonderful occasion, I think, in the country, a recognition, but also
it's a historic occasion too, because to be quite honest, I never thought about it until it was said by the previous government. But it certainly is historic for me, and it should be for all concerned.
I think too, we look at our country, and many times the things that are important or significant, we know, we see them, we appreciate them, but we don't appreciate them enough to celebrate publicly, to ensure that the thing has a certain level of prominence, so that it's continually shared through the generations.
Yeah, well, it's good that the government has. It's good for us, and it's good for the country that the government has been recognizing things that seafarers did prior to Cayman becoming it is alleged the fifth largest financial institution in the world. I don't know if that's still true, but
in
1953 was the first international bank to come here, and it was through the efforts and the frugality of seafarers before that, because the government of the day realized that they couldn't handle it, so they invited it, and it has grown. As I say, the rest is history.
I leave it to you as much as you want to share, but sometimes we may take for granted that because we are part of the seafaring heritage, we understood what happened. But not just for those who may be new to the terminology or new to the country, but even the younger Caymanians themselves.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because you realize that it's not on the curriculum.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I've had requests which I have complied with from the CCC, Truth for Youth, Clifton Hunter, and John Gray High School, and I've been there, and I usually have a little thing. I ask questions, and we carry things from. We have a small museum at the Seafarers Hall, and I carry the red and green lights and the significance of that, and then my vice president, he's a navigator. He'll explain about the sextant and all that, and it's amazing, especially the younger children. The younger kids seem to want to know more than the older ones.
That's times usually what it is, right? That level of interest, curiosity, and enthusiasm.
But every school that I've attended, they said, no, we don't have it on our curriculum, and it's unfortunate.
Right. Now, maybe when we listen to you, you're at sea, payday comes. Usually once a month, every week.
Once a month.
And then the money is sent back home.
It's like a standing order.
Yeah.
And the guy who used to be at the office, he passed away now. But he made sure to tell you that whether you want it or not, young man, an allotment is going to your mother or your wife or whoever you choose to get it. And it's unbelievable, the things that I remember the first year that I spent at sea. When I came home, my mother had £400 saved for me. That was a lot of money in 1970.
Wow.
And it was something. It was an understanding. Nobody kicked against it. It just happened because this man said so.
It's interesting.
But it taught us to be frugal.
You learn how to save and sacrifice.
Exactly. And then, of course, when you work overtime and you made a few dollars, then you would use it for extracurricular.
And when we're listening, we want to maybe also be reminded of how the world influenced you as a person, the seafarers in general, but then how some of that sort of influence came on. But before the pay, we look at salaries today, and we hear stories of people from other parts, and even here, But I'm sure, as a seafarer working in the ship, you made tens and thousands of dollars every month, right? Yeah. Give people what a pay was like.
You did what? What did you say?
Tell us.
Well, when you're an ordinary seaman, you make in my day, it was $125 per month.
Per month. Yeah.
But of course, the overtime pay was controlled by the captain. So whenever you wanted to go ashore, we reach port, you'd go to the captain to say if you had any money coming that you could get money from him to go ashore. But that allotment was not touched.
So when you think about it, for some just over $100, that's probably the minimum at that time. Or were there some that were making less?
At that time, it was minimum, yeah. My father was a sea captain at the time. I think he was making like $4,000 per month. But, it took him 20 years before he became a captain. So he had to go through all the ranks, Yeah. But he still managed to raise a family.
But, and the reason why, the cost of living, inflation and the like, but still, I think back to the early mid-70s and the students working in the banks then doing some of the jobs. Very few of them made more.
Well, I remember the first job I had in Cayman was as an architectural draftsman with Public Works Department. And I was being paid $153 every 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I managed to raise a family. So
that's the thing. And you probably were being paid well.
It was all relevant,
It's just the thing, you see, that relative cost, and we look at like your example, or the young bankers, the bank employees, $200 to $300 a month. Something we're making, not a week, but for the month. It's relative, fair enough, because of the cost of living back then and how far your money could go. But if somebody making that amount a week now would be, challenge.
Exactly. I remember also my first job in Jamaica after I finished university. Before I even went to sea, I was making £9 per week.
Wow.
And I drove a car and well, of course I lived at home with my mother, but I didn't have any rent and all that. But I still had other things to pay for.
Right.
£9 a week.
What do you think may have contributed, and maybe today why we don't see, but for the handful, but the two from the bracket in particular stand out, more Caymanians going, for the seafaring?
Well, I guess a lot of people, because of the advent of other occupations in Cayman, you find school leavers don't want to go to sea anymore because there's so many other opportunities for them to make a living at home, and I think that contributes a lot.
You talked about the education you got, not just the academic part, but the life experiences from the travel, the interaction with other people from other places, learning how to navigate various personalities, things that we would ask, employees in any sector to have today, things that we try to train, through team building, whether in workshops for businesses or in or schools, primary, secondary, or tertiary. But that level of almost disquiet among some that we're not going to go to sea because of the opportunities exist, but in them there's a calling.
Well, you see the difference between, take me for instance. I did not have to go to sea because my dad afforded me a good education. But I wanted to go because I wanted to follow in his footsteps.
Right.
As the eldest son, I wanted to be a captain one of these days. Unfortunately, after 5 years at sea, I had an unfortunate accident, and I was thrust into hospital for 6 weeks. I couldn't walk, and then they wouldn't employ me after that. So God didn't have that in the plan for me. But there are other people like myself who has had the opportunity of going to university and all that.
Yeah.
But they still choose to go to sea.
Yeah.
But in my father's day now, in the days when he was a young man, that was the only profession that
How many you think? I'm mindful of my ask this, but just, we look at in other societies, people through education or scholarship or through athletics or, they use that as a springboard, not just to a better life, but to physically get out of that area, right? I have a thought, but what's your thought? I mean, was it the seafarers going always intend to return? That's be their intent, or some? But it's a good way to get on to bigger, better, different pastures.
Well, again, back in the day, my mother had a brother, and she named me after him. But he went to sea and never came back home. He settled in Canada. So there was a lot of people that did that, settle in the United States or Canada. I know of a friend who is from the Brac. And when he went to sea, he went to live in Holland. And he lived in Holland so long before he came back home that all he spoke was Dutch. He had forgotten English. And this is a true story. So it varies, but on a whole, I think that most seamen, when they go away, they want to come back home.
I think you're right. All right, we're going to news break. And if you're have time on your calendar, if you need to get back up to the seafair as well, your call, sir.
Well, I was about to tell, when you first started this segment, I was about to tell our listeners that you had twisted my arm.
That's how that goes. All right. Well, you're always welcome, so you'll join us after.
I enjoyed being here, with you, Sterling, and
likewise, sir. Likewise.
Whenever you extend the invitation, I'll be here.
All right. Well, when you come back, maybe you'll host it for us for the last half hour. Let's see how that goes. All right. Still got a taste for dark chocolate. Let's pause and take a short break, though. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reports that 237 COVID-19 tests have been carried out since this was last reported on Tuesday, June 22nd. There were no positive results. To date, 90,323 COVID-19 vaccinations have been given in total in the Cayman Islands. In international news, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has warned that Europe is on thin ice as the Delta variant of COVID spreads on the continent. Her warning came as EU health officials said the variant would account for 90% of the bloc's cases by late August. The spread could disrupt plans for lifting restrictions during the summer. An Indigenous nation in Canada says it has found 751 unmarked graves at the site of a former residential school in Saskatchewan. The Cowessess First Nation said the discovery was the most significantly substantial to date in Canada. It comes weeks after the remains of 215 children were found at a similar residential school in British Columbia. Rudy Giuliani has had his law license suspended in New York for making demonstrably false and misleading claims around the 2020 U.S. election. He served as a personal lawyer to former President Donald Trump and attempted to overturn the result. A New York appellate court announced the decision made by a disciplinary panel on Thursday. It said Mr. Giuliani had lied in messages to the public as well as in statements submitted to courts. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Want your kids to gain social skills, independence, self-confidence indoors? King's Sports Center Art of Fun Summer Camp is the solution. Make memories, learn new skills and life skills. Activities include basketball, football, dodgeball, arts and crafts, squash, drama, kids aerobics, bowling, and much, much more. King's Sports Center Art of Fun Summer Camp will be held from July 6th through August 6th. July 6th through August 6th. Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. Camp includes all activities, 1 lunch, and 2 breaks. For more information, call 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky. Your one-stop facility for fitness, recreation, relaxation.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
The 20th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Sunday, July 25th at the Hartwell Theatre, is brought to you by
the New Self-Help Community Foundation and proudly sponsored by
Cellular World, Logic, CUC, Dr. Steve Thomas, Burger King, McRuss, Rainbow Realty, Frank Hall Homes, Walkers, Browns Esso, Mike's Esso, and Delware's Esso.
Ministry of Education, Mitsubishi, Caymanian Times, NCB Group, Breezy Production, A.L. Thompson's, and Radio Cayman.
Prepaid tickets for the 2021 Talent Exposition of the Arts at the Hartwell Theatre are available at Funky Tanks and Winner Circle Sports for $10 or $15 at the gate.
This is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Are you ready? Here we go. Set. I feel like running, skip it, run it. Feel like skip it.
Praise time.
Give me Jesus in the morning. I will. So send me, Lord. I will go.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences. At Subway, we know a meal isn't quite complete without a side, and that's why we're introducing waffle fries. Subway's waffle fries are oven-baked softness with extra crispy edge, giving a satisfying taste to be enjoyed as is or in any of Subway's dipping sauces. Order waffle fries as a side item for $2 or make it a meal deal. Subway, eat fresh.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And in the studio, Mr. Denson Tibbetts, the president of Cayman Seafarers Association. I just went outside to check, and it's raining so much that I could even get my hair wet. So tomorrow, the rain today, so tomorrow...
You should stop making fun of me on my bald head, you know. But...
oh, man, no.
They say when you're bald is one of two things, you know. I won't tell you which two things, but...
either you have no hair or you cut it off. Is that what it is? But
since we're back, you know, it's funny that we haven't had a call yet. Yeah. But
I think Susan says the lines. No, it's for those, you know what? But I think though, when you look at what today is, right? A nice, rainy, wonderful, wet, Thursday afternoon. Given a choice, some of us would like to still be relaxing somewhere with a good book. Yeah. Just enjoying it.
My grandson at 11 years old, he likes to relax reading a book from his tablet.
Yeah, haven't got there yet. But we do have a caller on the line, Mr. Denson. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling Green. You got a call now. And, so
good afternoon, sir.
I'm there, Mr. Denison. Also, yeah, it's great to hear him on. You could never talk enough about our seafaring days. You could be talking 24 hours a day, and we never, ever impart to the young
Right.
people here how important it was. It was everything. It was everything. As you're talking about allotments, I remember my brother Stanley, my mother waiting on his allotment to come home to buy us a school uniform, the khaki and the books and stuff like that. That's a long time ago. We went in late 1955. We went off the national bus. And all of vessels too, most of the national bus.
Are you trying to tell us your age, Mick, Dan?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people know him, but I was 10 years younger, and he was almost exactly.
I was only joking.
No,
It's good to hear you. It's good to hear you.
It's good to
And
hear
you know,
you
it's ironic that even from those days, you were benefiting from the fact that your older brother was at sea.
Yeah, my father. The whole thing was my father. All that Stan, and he came home. His first trip, he came home in 1957. Very well, because he brought home those 45 records, and I'd never seen one before that. I remember them little 45. We had the 78, and then we had the smaller 78 with long playing ones, and then stereo started coming. It was called high fidelity at the time, but it's the same thing, high fidelity. And he brought that home. It was Elvis Presley, Fats Domino, and I never forgotten that. And Everly Brothers, 1957, when he went to sea with the old man for a while, and my father, and he went back out. But my father's building boats. A lot of them there in Jamaica, and even for the yacht club, we built some small boats from Seahorse, lots of other sizes. But the big boats, I remember building. He always built every big boat from 40-odd feet up that they could be sailed, even though they would be fitted with engines. I remember him signing the stuff. Anyhow,
he was a famous man for the boat builder.
He was everything because he went to sea. He had the license, and he taught a lot of people there navigation. I never forgotten that, and I have his navigation book. He got captain's license.
Do you still have his sextant?
It's a huge book. No, he sold all 2 sextants. He had sold them all when he got his book, both of them. And I remember...
Mickey, did you know that the rules of international seafaring now states that even though with the advent of all these GPS and all that...
you have to learn to do it back.
And not only do you have to learn, but every ship must have a sextant on board?
Yes. I was told that, and I know several of the guys who sailed through those days into, and now retired, the big tankers, and now went into the Loran Shoran and the GPS. And they told me that. I can't call their names, and I won't.
Yeah, I visited a ship recently, when I say recently, sometime last year. The ship was anchored out in the harbor here, and I was invited to on board ship, and the navigator on that ship was a woman.
Yeah, usually the second mate.
And the steering apparatus that we were all used to, this big wheel, was just a little thing, maybe 6 inches in diameter. It's unbelievable the advancement. And this ship had bow thrusters and stern thrusters, and you can keep the ship in one place. It's like the olden days when we went fishing, and if you were the man who to keep up the boat, you better kept that boat where the fisherman told you to, or you'd get a thong thrashing,
Yeah, but I remember so very well with my father in particular. He taught me trigonometry and all. So I had a head start on the other children in school with it. He taught me science, core science, before we started learning trig in school. all that in logarithms, but it helped. I still have his navigation book, but I remember him going over to the bracket. I can only know this from my mother's notes on things he would talk to me about many times in later years. When he used to go over there for groupers, in the late 1940s, and that's how I got in touch with Mr. Reynolds Ebanks. I tell you about him. He was a 13-year-old boy when my father came over here in 48 on the Pelican Queen. And in later, I remember her very well, later years, about a 70-foot double ender, like double bowl, we call it. And
I think I remember the latest later.
Yes, and
we have a photograph of the latest later at the Seafarers Hall if you wanted to come look at it.
And Paul went back up again. But it's so many interesting things. I remember my father butchering turtles and my mother making the sails for all the boats. That was the most interesting thing for us, helping her with the eyes, putting in the eyelets for the rope and the stuff like that, cordage. And I remember helping to caulk boats with 2 or 3 different caulking irons. They cut and put in the paint. And I could barely read and write. And I remember, those things come back. And as you were talking about money at the time, when I left permanently from Jamaica, it was in November '67, because I used to spend a lot of school holidays here from the late 1950s. And I was getting £14, I think it was £14, 3 shillings a week. I thought that was pretty good money. I'd gone up the ladder.
Well, it was because, like I said earlier, I got £8 per week as a survey draftsman.
Yeah, see that? I started out at £6 a week in 64, but I remember I used to smoke, and a pack of cigarettes was like about 1 shilling and 2 for a big pack, or 1 shilling and 6 pence, and the small pack of 10 was like 8 pence or 10 pence. And the bread was 8 pence. A big bread.
Anybody who smokes now gotta be a millionaire, because I think it's like $10.
No, it is. I think
$10 a pack or something like that.
2.5 years ago. But I remember even when I came back in 1969, we were selling cigarettes.
That was a good year.
Yes, it was 18 cents a pack. 18 cents a pack. It has gone up astronomical. Everything since then. But it's great that you guys have this on. It's a lot more we could talk about. And
Thank
all
you,
that.
sir.
But you all take care.
Thank you very much.
Bless.
God bless.
Good to hear you, Mickey.
And with that, Mr. Denson, I'm told we have another caller as well. Hey, good afternoon. We're talking to Mr. Denson Tibbetts. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. Good afternoon, Mr. Denniston.
Good afternoon, Mr. Raymond, sir.
All our listeners. Yes,
How are you, sir?
Good afternoon, Raymond. How are you?
Yes, sir. Not so good, sir.
Sorry to hear that.
Like partly disabled on one knee, on one leg from an attack of gout.
Oh, yeah.
Not doing well, but I have time to that I can talk, because I can't do any work right now. So I heard you on, and very interesting.
You don't have no problem talking, right?
No, sir, definitely not.
You got a lot of good stuff to share with us, man.
Yes, sir. I want to say, talking about the government shows this year for the year of the seafarers. Congratulations to all those people who decided in doing that. That's a great thing, because that's the greatest thing ever for the establishment and the history of the foundation of Cayman Islands seafaring. That's where we started out from, all our family members. So many of them were seamen, and that's where the money came from to get everything rolling, everything started, how many homes these seafaring allotments built and kept all the islands going. And an interesting thing I want to talk about, that Little Cayman was said to be the island that had the most sea captains of anywhere in the world per capita, and Cayman Brac. For size and population, Little Cayman and Cayman Brac had the most sea captains. And just here last week, my brother that Mr. Dinston just spoke about a few minutes ago, Captain Radley Scott, Captain Anderson, he completed.
Yeah, Anderson Radley.
Yeah, right. He completed a ship-to-ship transfer last week off of Freeport, Bahamas. They were there like 10 miles off of Freeport, Bahamas. They had bad weather and heavy rains most of the time. They were tied up 63 hours.
Wow.
But one tanker was 600 feet long, like the size of the Rubis tanker that comes to Cayman and Cayman Bright. That size was the biggest one. The smaller one was around 550 feet. And he commanded the British flag, smallest one alongside the biggest one, and they transshipped propane. And that ship-to-ship transfer took 63 hours. That's almost 3 days. And that was the last transfer that a Caymanian seaman was involved in. And that was just 10 miles off the coast of Freeport, Bahamas. That was the same type of business that me and him had ready to go off Cayman Bright twice. And that we never succeeded with getting permission or license granted.
Well, you know what, Raymond, things like that I look as something that God didn't see fit to let it happen, and so one has to accept that.
Yeah, whatever. Yes, surely. And on the other hand, talking about, I heard you mention about lady seafarers.
Mm-hmm.
That is on a rapid rise now. I have never communicated with so many men, ladies, got men's positions such as chief mates, second mates, and third mates on ships that pass the Cayman Islands. During the last 2 years, they are on the rise. We have.
Yeah, they're definitely on the rise, because I met a lady. They had a symposium here for women seafaring. I think it was last year, and we actually have a branch here. And I was pleasantly surprised when two women who were speakers, they said that in 18 months' time they would become captains.
Correct. Yes, sir. And I want to talk about how many times I have seen ships passing and know they are passing and contact them, and who to answer me is a lady, mate, second mate or third mate, and give me all the information, and we have the conversation just the same as the all the information given and transpire and everything.
Well, it goes back to that song that was made famous, "Woman, I go rule this country."
Yes.
In the 21st century.
Yes, and I always say congratulations on your great achievement in being in command of a super tanker or one of the biggest tankers in the world. I always give them a very appropriate compliments for that position, because they deserve it. Also to say that it is a very highly paid job now with some shipping companies.
Yeah, nowadays it is.
Yes, sir. There's a Caymanian flag super tanker flying the flag of Cayman and registered in Georgetown, that the captain is earning $13,000 per month. And he's Ukrainian. It has a Ukrainian captain and Indian officers and the Filipino crew. But it's Caymanian flagged, and there are many of them over the world. And we are the heritage of the Caymanian seafaring, and there's only my brother and Gentry, that other man you were
Gentry, yeah. I couldn't remember his first name. Gentry, yeah.
T-R-Y. Gentry Tatum. He works as a mate, and he may be becoming captain soon for the American tugboat company named Bouchard, B-O-U-C-H-A-R-D, and he works on an integrated tug barge, a pusher tug that links up with a barge around the east coast of the United States. Also, we have the third person from with Caymanian heritage, which is a second cousin of mine that is in a navigational school in Denmark. He has 3 more years to become a master mariner. He is training to become a captain of ships, probably Danish ships, and he will be the replacement name of Captain Scott, like when my brother, Captain Radley, when he retires or gives up the seafaring life. There will be another young Captain Scott to continue it. So wish him all the success, and he's originally from Cayman Brac, you would have known or probably sailed with my uncle Lenny Scott, which used to work for Texaco. That's his grandfather, and he's in school in Denmark to become a captain.
You know, I learned when I went to this symposium that there's a maritime university in Spain. Hello?
I know about it, yes.
Oh, I thought you had left us.
Yes, Maritime University in Spain, correct?
Mm-hmm. So maybe when we want to do another scholarship, we might consider someone going there.
Yeah, somebody consider.
Yeah.
Correct, surely. And Jamaica is expanding in leaps and bounds with seafarers. They have one company. I communicate with the ships, and I talk with Jamaican seamen once in a while passing here. There's a company that got more than 100 Jamaican seamen working for that company called Exmar out of Belgium. So Jamaica is producing plenty of seamen becoming seafarers.
I hope they can all swim.
Yes, that's right. Anyway, Caymanians need to, well, like I said, there's people that wants to do it, but our heritage is actually dying out. Only my cousin.
Well, the problem is that I think it was about 3 years ago, my first year as president, we had the opportunity to attend the annual general meeting of Macy.
Yes.
And I carried. I did a brief talk there, and someone had sent me from Ireland had sent me a requisition for, I think it was 3 or 4 different seamen, but the qualifications had to be from a university, and we don't have that here yet, I don't think.
No, we don't. Yeah, that's correct.
So those posts, we couldn't consider them at all.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right.
And back to the statement about tomorrow.
Yes.
Being, International Seafarers Day of the Seafarers.
Yes.
Yes, right. What I'm going to try arrange is to have a celebration done by the newest tanker in the world, loaded with coconut oil and palm oil, coming from Malaysia, going to pass out to the south of Grand Cayman, if I can get contact. But most of the times you can't get contact with them out there. They pass south of Cayman Drive now.
Well, now that you have a new radio and all that, maybe you can reach out a little further.
Yes, sir. That is right, yes. But even with new equipment, brand new equipment, the VHFs are just limited, 25, 30, 40, 50 miles. It's not a consistent thing. Also to mention about those, how sad it is for those 2 Honduran men to still be out there missing. One is captain age 69 and one is age 51. And there were reports that United States Coast Guard could not get involved because of it being in the Caribbean territory outside of the United States. But it says one of the boat occupants is a retired U.S. Navy man, so he would have to have his green card being an American citizen. And I don't know why they just don't seek out and try find those men. From Mother's Day, they made the last call to their mothers and grandmothers, etc., to wish them a happy Mother's Day, and that was the last they heard from them. I mean, it's so sad that, and they were in 2 boats, one boat towing another boat, and one boat was reported had an engine failure, one engine failed. But with all the ships that are out there by the hundreds, I have limited range of getting those ships, or they would have been located or seen long time, but I can't reach the ships that are out there southwest of Grand Cayman unless you get a skip sometime. And
yeah, sometimes you get a skip.
Day and night all the time.
Well, that's really unfortunate that these 2 men are still missing, but do we still have hopes of finding them?
I think there is a possibility that they could be out there drifting on the mercy of the sea and just hoping for someone to sight them and go and pick them up. But
well, if it's God's will, it'll happen.
Pardon?
If it's God's will, it will happen.
Well,
and if not, then we'll have to offer condolences to their families.
Yes, sir. That's a long time they've been missing, but hopes are still there. I still have hopes that they could be out there and just waiting for someone to find them. Like I was involved so many times with people out there that were said to be missing, and I had them located after 6 days, 12 days.
Raymond, we have another call coming in, so we have to. But it's good talking to you, young man, and you keep up the good works. What you're doing is almost forgotten by some people, but it's well remembered by seafarers.
Yeah. Hey, thanks again, Mr. Raymond. Enjoy the rest of this Thursday. And I think, Mr. Raymond reminds us, not just the importance of seafaring and the heritage, but the amount of shipping traffic and the significant traffic.
It was. I'm wondering how many Caymanian residents understand that 90% of everything that you eat, you buy, you drive, you ride a bicycle, everything comes through the sea. I wonder how many people understand that. You go to the supermarket, everything in the supermarket comes by the sea.
Yeah, increasingly, we see the air freight, but that's an expensive or a more expensive option.
Yeah.
And it's have limitations, right? So we import everything.
So the seafaring worldwide is still very vibrant.
Yeah.
It's just that we as Caymanians have sort of
well, maybe it's the way it's presented. Maybe it's it's lost its attractiveness. Maybe we as parents and a society no longer.
Well, back in the day, it was the only thing to do. Nowadays, like I said before, there are so many other options.
Almost like a rite of passage, in that era.
But as Raymond said, it's so good that the government has recognized all of this, and the seafarers are being recognized for their true worth.
All right. Well, I know as you close out, you'll remind us of tomorrow. You also remind us of coming out to the Seafarers Hall and celebrating.
Yes. The rest of this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon after the renaming, and also Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
And of course the unfortunate funerals and all that. And but before I go, I just want to remind my seafaring members, if you have not yet gotten your vaccination for COVID-19, you have to have it now. It's time. If there's a problem, give us a call and we'll see what we can do with the powers that be. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be here this long.
Wow.
Even though you twisted my arm and all that, but I did enjoy it, and I hope I got across the things that are necessary for that I want the seafarers to like tomorrow. Tomorrow is so historical.
What time tomorrow again it starts?
10 o'clock in the morning.
10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Until 11:30.
All right. Well, thank you for coming and remind us repeatedly that the invitation is for a public one. It's down in the renaming of Harbor Drive. And to celebrate, with our society and commend the seafarers, show them the respect. Hey, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence again, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it's a Thursday, huh?
Have a good week.
Started out good. Looking forward to seeing how it's going to continue. I may indeed just get the savor the flavor of the dark. So tomorrow, join me start in the morning for the record. Come back for Talk Today right after the midday news and midday meditation. We're going to start out things, talking about that continued partnership to end domestic violence. And Shane Noby Edwards sits with us from 1 o'clock onwards. That's Friday. Between now and then, well, be blessed.
Census 2021. Came and get ready. Census starting 10th of October 2021. Census. What in town are you ready? Census. Georgetown we coming. Census. Your info will be secret. Northside get ready. Census. Information is secret. Census 2021 census starting October 10th. 2021 census. 2021 census. Census. Census.
2021 census. Everyone counts.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. And Royal Fidelity Bank and Trust, money at work.